Bonjour tout le monde! So in this video, we're going to learn how to actually say trick or treat in French. And it's probably not what you found online, okay? So stick around. Bonjour tout le monde! Welcome back! So I'm going to try to make this video short today, but we're going to go over a handful of sentences to survive Halloween this year. And at the end of the video, we're going to learn how to say trick or treat in French, okay? Let's get started. Okay guys, so the first word we're gonna go over is Halloween. Halloween in French is the same, it's written the same way, but it sounds like Halloween. So the H is silent, we don't do the sound, okay? So it's A-Lou-ween. A-Lou-ween. Halloween, okay? And usually the article we put in front is L apostrophe, L with an apostrophe, so it's gonna sound like L'Halloween, L'Halloween, okay? Halloween, L'Halloween, Halloween, okay? Happy Halloween is Joyeuse Halloween, okay? It's a feminine word, Halloween. A lot of people make this mistake and they say joyeux or they write down joyeux. It's actually joyeuse. It's feminine. That is the correct way to say it and to write it, okay? Joyeuse, 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 Halloween, Halloween, okay? So it's joyeuse Halloween, joyeuse Halloween, okay? Comes out fast. Joyeuse Halloween, joyeuse Halloween, okay? It kind of meshes into one word. We don't overemphasize the E at the end of joyeuse, so you just go hook on the S to the A in Halloween, okay? Joyeuse Halloween, okay? The action of trick-or-treating, the kids trick-or-treating through the neighborhood. In French, we say passer l'Halloween. Passer l'Halloween. It's like passing Halloween, okay? So if you're asking a kid, are you trick-or-treating? You would say, est-ce que tu vas passer l'Halloween? Est-ce que tu vas passer l'Halloween? Est-ce que tu vas passer l'Halloween? Or you can say, are you trick-or-treating this year? Est-ce que tu vas passer l'Halloween cette année? Est-ce que tu vas passer l'Halloween cette année? Est-ce que tu vas passer l'Halloween cette année? Okay? I know French is fast. You don't have to say it fast. You can take your time. I'm also a really fast speaker, okay? I talk very quickly. I just want you to recognize the sounds, okay? Est-ce que tu vas passer l'Halloween? Okay? All right, so a Halloween costume. In Canada, we use two words. Europeans may not agree with both these words, but we use both of these interchangeably, okay? So costume can either be costume, so it's the same word in English, we just pronounce it the French way. So it's costume, costume, un costume, or déguisement, okay? The E in the middle, go over it really quickly, okay? So it sounds more like déguisement, un déguisement, okay? Europeans tend to think that déguisement is more of the proper word, but we use costume here very often and it's very interchangeable, okay? So un costume or un déguisement, déguisement, un déguisement, okay? We don't say déguisement. It sounds, we say it very quickly, déguisement, okay? However, if you're asking the question, what are you dressing up as for Halloween, okay? In French, what you're gonna say, comment tu te déguises pour l'Halloween, okay? In this situation, you're not gonna use costume. You're gonna use the verb déguiser. So the sentence is, comment tu te déguises pour l'Halloween? Comment tu te déguises pour l'Halloween? Comment tu te déguises pour l'Halloween? And if it's going to be super fast, we make a lot of contractions in French Canadian, so it's actually going to sound like comment tu te déguises? Comment tu te déguises pour l'Halloween? Okay? The tu te kind of contracts, so it's going to sound like comment tu te déguises pour l'Halloween? Okay? Sounds good? Okay, so if kids are coming to your door or you see kids in costume or a grown-up in a costume, If you want to say, oh, nice costume, you can say, il est beau ton costume. Il est beau ton costume, or il est beau ton déguisement. Okay? I've made a video about this, linked above, okay? We do a lot of contractions in French Canadians, so technically we wouldn't really say il est beau ton costume. It's gonna sound like il est beau ton costume. Il est beau ton costume. Il est beau ton costume. Okay? Be sure to check that video out, okay? That's for one person. If there are several kids or several people wearing costumes you want to compliment, you're going to say ils sont beaux vos costumes. Ils sont beaux vos costumes. Ils sont beaux vos costumes. And if we contract it even more as like a real French Canadian, it's going to sound like ils sont beaux vos costumes. Ils sont beaux vos costumes. Le il at the beginning contracts even more, so it sounds just like a I without the L, okay? Ils sont beaux vos costumes, okay? So if you wanted to say, that's a scary costume, or what a scary costume, you would say, il est épeurant ton costume. Okay, épeurant is scary. Il est épeurant ton costume. Il est épeurant, okay? There's a liaison between le est and le et, okay? So it sounds like T. So, il est épeurant ton costume, okay? If we do that contraction at the beginning of the sentence with the il, like I talked about before, it's going to sound like il est épeurant ton costume. Il est épeurant ton costume. Il est épeurant ton costume, okay? But it's really il est épeurant ton costume. Il est épeurant ton costume. Okay? If you're talking to several people that are wearing scary costumes and you wanted to make it plural, you would say ils sont épeurants vos costumes. So now we have to do the liaison between le sont and le épeurant. So it's going to sound ils sont épeurants vos costumes. If we make the contraction at the beginning, ils sont épeurants vos costumes. Ils sont épeurants vos costumes. Ils sont épeurants vos costumes. Okay? So you don't have to do that contraction at the beginning. The correct word is ils. Ils sont épeurants vos costumes. Ils sont épeurants vos costumes. Okay? Okay. All right. So the last thing we're going to go over today is how to actually say trick or treat. When the kids get to the door and they say trick or treat, what do we actually say in French? So for fun, I looked online and there was a lot of things that came out. The most common one being des bonbons ou un sort, which is a direct translation of trick or treat. Des bonbons is candy, sort is a trick. Or I saw also des bonbons ou un mauvais sort. That just is never said, okay? In Europe, I don't think they celebrate Halloween as much as we do here. It's maybe gaining in popularity, and maybe that's what they use there, but you'll never hear that here, and it's actually going to come out really weird if you open a door and a kid says that, okay? So what we say here, we actually have 3 different choices, okay? We don't use the direct translation, okay? We use different variations. The first one being, kids simply say Halloween when somebody opens the door, okay? They kind of say Halloween in a sing-songy voice. So it would be Halloween, Halloween, okay? That's one way of saying it. The other way of saying it, this is not my most favorite one. I don't know why. It's common, but it just sounds rude for some reason. Des bonbons, s'il vous plaît. So that's candy, please. It's not really rude. You're saying please, but des bonbons, s'il vous plaît. Des bonbons, s'il vous plaît. Des bonbons, s'il vous plaît. Okay? So they're saying candy, please. The one my kids use, that it's my preferred one, they're simply saying Happy Halloween. So they would, when people open the door, my kids will say Joyeuse Halloween, Joyeuse Halloween, Joyeuse Halloween. Okay? So we have Halloween, or Joyeuse Halloween, or Des bonbons, s'il vous plaît. Okay? That is what kids actually use in French. Okay? So that is the correct way to say trick or treat in French. All right? That's it for today, guys. I hope this was a little bit helpful and hopefully a little bit shorter than my video last week. Be sure to subscribe and be sure to also join my newsletter. I'll include it in the link below. I keep you updated with my newest video releases, and I'll also include some bonus content like In this video, I'll write down all the vocabulary words or sentences that we saw in the video so you can refer back to it and practice with them, okay? So, thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. Merci beaucoup les amis!